Well, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Tonight I'm joined by the good, the bad and the ugly of Rangers Radio. GB, Billy, and Bridgeman. Evening, gentlemen.
I wonder what one I'm with, Alex.
I'll leave that up to you, mate.
Good evening all, Billy and Bridge. Really looking forward to talking about the Rangers tonight.
Evening, Billy.
Evening, Oxdear. How you doing, my friend? All right, Gary Boy and the one and only Bridge. Evening, everyone.
All right, the legend, Bridge.
Good evening to you, Oxdear, and of course to your two techie guys in the background, and the guys I need to carry me tonight, Gary and Billy Boy. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
If they're carrying hope, it's a wheelbarrow race rather than a sack and coal race. How are you, GB?
Aye, well, mate, it's a quick weekend when Rangers play on a Saturday. So it's not often we get that. No, not used to it, mate. If I's in that Sunday, it seems to be a lonely day.
Aye, Billy Boy, how's things in your world?
Aye, mate, dodging away. Same day, different movie, innit, type thing. Aye, I'm fine, mate. Just dodging away, pal. Looking forward to hearing a blare about the famous.
Yeah. And Bridgeman, have you got the cases unpacked to get them packed again to go away?
Just managed to get them finished off today. Yeah, maybe get them on Wednesday, and away I go again. Just for a laugh. No, looking forward to tonight, Oxdear. Really looking forward to it after that game on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll take the game on Saturday. 5-2. I don't think it told the full story. I think we get a bit frustrated sometimes, GB, when we lose a couple of goals at the piece. It was a decent performance. We win reasonably well, but obviously when it gets to each, you start worrying, mate.
You do, Ox, and it's been a kind of wee small characteristic of the team that we enjoy giving the opposition a couple of goals and make the game interesting, and then we've got this character coming back and winning the game convincingly, and that was a sign of that on Saturday, especially with the 5-2 win. People probably looking for a far would say, oh well, Rangers probably run there the tap of St Mirren. We did to a certain extent, but I don't know about you, Ox, but sitting at 76 minutes at 2-2, I was quite worried it was just going to run out as a draw, mate.
It did cross my mind as well, but I thought we would get another chance. You just hoping to take it, and it turns out, Billy, we took 3.
Aye, in the space of 10, 15 minutes or something like that, wasn't it? That's what it is with the Rangers. Sometimes we've got to give a goal away to start playing football, and then we give another goal away to start playing football again. But aye, the last 2 or 3 goals were good goals, well worked. Nice football goals, mate, and clinical finishing for the Rangers.
Bridgeman, the game started pretty much right away. We got the penalty kick, mate. Stonewaller, wasn't it?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There could have been 2 penalties in that one incident. One happened just a couple of seconds earlier, you know. But no, a big disappointment for Tav. Of course, for other Rangers as well. But a big disappointment for Tav, because that would have been a fantastic goal to score. That would have opened the game wide up for us, and let's go on and do it. But unfortunately, it didn't. And it wasn't not his greatest penalty. But over and above that, I think we gave away 2 goals, but they were 2 goals. That boy absolutely smashed the first one, and the second was a really good goal as well.
One at a time. Let's walk
no,
through the game.
I'm sorry, pal. Carry on.
We're going to go to the penalty kick. You calm down.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll get 2 hours to kill here. Right, so we get the penalty kick. I've not looked at this stat. I know you like a stat, Billy.
Oh, here we go.
He's missed a couple into the piece. But for memory, I can't remember when it's cost as a result. Can you?
No, definitely not. I think every time he scored, apart from
every time he's missed.
I have he's missed. I mean, I think the last. Did you know Did he not get 3 penalties one day? Was it last season or the season before? In one game at Ibrox as well, and I think he missed one and scored 2 or something. 2 penalties. I can't remember who we played, Docs.
Obviously, he has missed a few, GB, but there's no cost us, if that makes sense. I need to get that checked out.
No, it was probably early. It was good that it was early doors, Ox, obviously, the way they missed penalty, but I think it was well struck. I think the goalkeeper done well. I think that it was just one of the days there. The Tavs hit it nice, and the keeper's chose in the right way and saved it, and it's came off. Fox. I felt Raskin done well to build, like to get the penalty.
He was alive to it, wasn't he? Sneaked in fast, wasn't he?
Aye, it was good, and it's good to start to see now our midfield is contributing. Knox. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen the full midfield being involved in the game, especially like say the goals involvement now is starting to rack up a bit, which is good.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We've been joined by a guest tonight. Murray Roxburgh has joined us this evening. Evening, Murray.
Good evening. How are you all?
Good to hear from you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Recovered from the stress of Saturday up to about half time when we started playing a wee bit better and getting the other 3 goals to secure the win. It wasn't the easiest of watches, was it?
No, the last 15 minutes were okay.
The
last 15 minutes. Listen, Murray's for the Rangers supporters asking appeal. He's come on to speak to us tonight. Obviously, we had a venture with him, which, to be fair to say, Murray, it was a successful evening.
It was a great night, wasn't it? I thought the speakers and Gordon Smith, Mark Haitley, and Derek Johnson were fantastic. You know, some great stories and a great bit of insight into their careers as well. You know, obviously sort of completely different backgrounds for the 3 guys and how they all ended up at Ibrox and loved their time there and became true Blues.
Yeah, and they did have stories to tell us, and they had successful careers, both of them ways. And we had a successful night. I think we raised just over £4,000, £2,000 each to the charities. Your good selves at the Rangers supporters, Arsenal appeal, and of course the Macmillan Cancer Charity, which are worthy causes, mate.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the Rangers family that wouldn't have been touched by somebody close to them, either family or friends that's had the problems with cancer and stuff like that. Such a horrific thing. So to be able to be helping them out as well, for you guys putting the thing on was a great cause. And obviously from, you know, Erskine's close to every Rangers fan's heart, and you know, time after time their generosity in helping out Erskine and looking after our ex-servicemen and women that are looked after at Erskine. It just goes from strength to strength, and you know, it's a humbling experience with the fact that what we do with the Erskine appeal, which started off as something small, just to do a small thing, and has just grown and grown and grown. And now we're within the next 12 months we'll be over £1.4 million in total that we've raised for them.
Wow, superb, mate, absolutely superb, and I appreciate all the hard work it goes into it with everybody. Just so people know, the money we raised the evening it's turned out it's going to be for a Pacific event. Could you let the listeners know?
Yes,
the coronation.
We're paying for the coronation parties across the Erskine homes. The residents are all going to have a special day in the day of the coronation, and RSCA are picking up the tab for their buffets, for their entertainment, and for their maybe a few, for those that are allowed, maybe a few stronger beverages as well to toast the new king in his coronation.
Well, it should be a wonderful day, and I hope all the guys and girls have a great day, mate. Can I also take the opportunity to thank you and your dedicated teammate who don't seem to stop raising money for Erskine. I know how difficult it is to do maybe an event once a year that you organise after a few refreshments in a West End hostelry. But you're constantly at it, and I doff my hat to you, sir.
It's one of these things. It's got so much momentum now that it's hard to jump off. Take for example the pin badges. Every year we come up with another design, and it's hard. We're always sort of thinking, almost from once we've got this year's badges out, we're sort of instantly thinking, right, what's next year's design going to be? Because obviously with the volume that we sell of those, it takes quite a long to get them produced. So it's an ongoing thing. Everybody thinks it's the mad panic rush of that week when they go on sale, and we'll shift 10 to 11,000 in a matter of a couple of days. But it's a year-long thing to get that planned. Obviously, if we're doing dinners and other events and stuff, that can be quite a long lead time, because you've got to be looking at what dates are suitable. You're not clashing with anything. Then you've got to get trying to get the speakers. So it's something that we've just got to keep our shoulder to the wheel. And as long as there are veterans that are needing help and assistance, I think it's the least we can do to keep raising money, keep doing events, keep organising merchandise, things like that, to keep that cash flowing in, and look after those that Erskine are looking after.
Yeah, to other people in your team, and also other people involved in Rangers Radio, to help make the night of the fundraiser possible. We thank you, and all the people who donated money, prizes, and turned up.
From our point of view as well, having other people that are going to step up and help out as well is a huge thing for us as well, because it shows that the Rangers supporters, the Erskine appeal, has been one of the things that has crossed all the different fan groups. You know what it's like. Where sometimes with Rangers fans, we can end up with the joke that if two Rangers fans got stuck in a desert island, there'd be 3 Rangers supporters clubs by the end of the week. But with RSCA, it's crossed over. Everybody gets involved with it. Everybody appreciates what's trying to be done. So as I say, when people are coming forward to that to help out from other groups like what you guys did as well, and making the dinner and Partick come together, that's ideal, because at the end of the day, it helps us achieve the bigger goal. There's no egos in what we do. We're happy to sort of say, let's get everybody involved. People want to come along and come up with an idea and do something. We'll help them out as much as we can, and because at the end of the day, it's all about getting more money for the care of the veterans at Erskine.
Yeah, if I come up with another idea, just tell me no, mate. Yeah.
Not at all. All ideas are welcome. We've got a couple of ideas ourselves at the moment for things that we're just working on as well, and hopefully we'll be able to be announcing them soon. We've also got something in the pipeline, which I'm sure everybody will be very, very impressed with. But that's strictly under wraps at the moment. But
you need to come on and tell us when that
all will be revealed closer to the day of the coronation. There's a royal connection to it. So as I say, we'll maybe make the announcement of that when we're having the parties for the veterans at Erskine.
Well, you know that this platform's always available if you can let people know. Appreciated.
Getting the word out to as many people as possible is another one of the big things. The more people we can get to know about what's going on, and the other thing that RSCA has done over the years is it's the small amounts that matter. We've not got any big benefactors that are going to come in and be giving us, well, there's £50,000, there's £100,000, anything like that. It's all about the buying a £4 badge, buying a bucket hat, buying a polo shirt, coming to an event, whatever. So it's all those small donations. If we get enough of them, that all adds up, and that's why I think it's part of the Rangers family now that everybody knows they can get involved even at a small level and put something in that all goes towards the bigger pot and looking after our veterans.
Well, one of the things that raised £1,000 on the night was we had a sign strip for Seville that was framed, and we've got the paperwork to go along with it, and that raised £1,000 in the evening. And we've not had the draw yet because of
first use of a new giant RSEA football cards as well.
Yes. I liked them, mate. I must admit, I thought it was good. It was actually good fun at the start of the night, getting people to part with their money. But we're going to do that live, the draw for that live now on Facebook and YouTube. There's 100 shots on the card, and we are using a number. It's called random.org, and that will give us the number live on Facebook and YouTube. The number will then, obviously, the card's numbered. That number will be the signed box. Will win the sign strip. I don't know if we'll be posting it because we might have to give them £1,000 back, Murray, for the size of it.
Well, I think most of the folk that will have taken part in that will hopefully be local to the West End, so it shouldn't be too hard to get it delivered into them.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We're just waiting to see what the number is. This is like bingo. This is like a cup draw. You know, but well done. That's heading towards 1.4 million. And the number is number 16. Number 16. And we'll see who that is on the card. Number 16. Give me 2 minutes, now, right? Who's number 16?
Everybody that bought a number will be giving it. What was my number again?
Number 16 is.
Don't do an Oscars and get to the wrong guy.
Wally H. We'll need to track down who that is. Wally H. Right.
Well, congratulations to Lily H. That's a fantastic bit of memorabilia that she's just won, and also in doing so, and everybody else that took part contributing a good sum to Erskine and to Macmillan Cancer.
Right, Wally H. Right, we'll need to get a thinking head on. I should have made them put their full name and address on it, Murray.
I'm sure you'll find them.
We'll track them down, yeah. We'll track them down. Listen, mate, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Hey, listen, thank you for everything that you do and helping out and coming forward and making that happen for Erskine and Macmillan. It's been a great effort from you guys, and it's most appreciated. I'm sure the Macmillan people were delighted with their check as well. So more power to you for that, and hopefully you'll come up with some other ideas, and we'll have some other collaborations in the future.
Yeah, and it was nice to meet your good self one evening as well, mate. And you. Yeah, and it was nice to put a name with the face. No, I don't know so much about your cohort.
Yeah, well, Tom keeps himself to himself.
No, I mean your other cohort.
Mr. McInnes.
Yes.
Well, I think he enjoyed the night as well. But anything in Partick going on, Ian wants to be part of it. So that's a good thing. We're looking forward to being back at Partick Bowling Club at the end of the summer for the Bowls Day as well. It's another thing that's come onto the calendar, and everybody loves that one.
We're hoping to win that this year, mate. We've got high hopes. Rangers Radio.
Well, just as long as there's not any ringers in your team or anything like that, you don't.
No. In fact, our bowling team was that bad. They invented social distancing, Murray.
Again, the Bowls Day is another example of just one of these great events that yes, some folk will take it very seriously and stuff like that, but everybody just comes along and enjoys that day, and has a great day with meet new people, good like-minded folk, all coming together and making a few quid for the charity as well. So all good. All
right, mate. Nice to speak to you. And once again, salute
great stuff, and all the very best to you and all the listeners on Rangers Radio.
Cheers, mate.
That's great. All the best. Cheers now.
Cheers, Murray. Cheers.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, it's a frightening amount of money, isn't it, Bridge? 1.4 million.
That's amazing. And we're part of that somewhere along the line, you know. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's us. Maybe gave them about $7,000 the last few years. The Rangers
Oh, it's fantastic. Just fantastic.
Yeah,
Really.
and obviously, money to an Emily Smiley Fund and also Macmillan Cancer, and then we've made donations to the Robert Mulholland Parade as well. So, thanks to everybody involved, and thanks to everybody's efforts and kindness, GB. Yeah.
That's it, Oxford. It's everybody pulling together and giving it to the right causes, and just like I says, the whole joy that it brings, that money can be reinvested and give people happiness, is brilliant, Ox.
And Billy, it was your first social event, huh?
Aye, it was that, buddy. It was that. Aye, listen, it's great to hear. It's great to hear the gentleman coming on there for the charity and hearing a wee blare about how hard all the guys all work on it, and the money they generate for veterans and these cancer charities. It's absolutely fantastic, Ox. It's humbling to be part of something like that. That we know that you can help somebody out there just to a better life, be it through serious illness or an ex-serviceman. So I'm tickled pink. Well done, everybody. It's absolutely fantastic.
I think you were quite blown away with the atmosphere on the night, all yeah, Billy.
What's that, buddy?
You were quite blown away with the atmosphere on the night. It was buzzing, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a fantastic night, Ox, from start to finish. I mean, the banter at the tables and that was superb. The speakers were different class of stories, and you know what I mean, different things that happened within football matches. Derek Johnson talking about when he made his debut and whatnot, and how he signed for Glasgow Rangers, and Big Haley's old man, and it was fantastic. The company was superb, the meal was superb, the speakers were superb. It was just a brilliant night for start to finish, and to top it all off, these wonderful charities are getting a great donation out to help people, and that's what it's all about. So, Ox, that's what it's all about, mate.
Yeah. Right, we'll move back to the game on Saturday. But just before we do, listen, thanks to everybody who made a donation, helped turned up at the evening. The Rangers Radio family, we salute you. Right, so we get the penalty, misses it, and then we keeps playing well, Bridgeman. We keeps playing well, and eventually we get the breakthrough. Nice goal.
Oh yeah, when we string a couple of passes together, it's amazing. That's a good goal. Good goal. Really liked it. And it certainly lit people up after the sort of the flatness of the penalty miss. But that started as what we thought was going to be. It's a cakewalk now. Let's get there and show them what we can do. Ow.
So we get the goal, and I'm thinking, I don't know what you were thinking, GB. I'm thinking, yeah, another one. This could be anything we want, yeah.
Yeah, Box, as soon as we seen that goal and how crisp it was, I felt that was the team stepping up the gear that they needed to, especially after the penalty miss. But again, as we'll probably touch on, Ox, we just go to sleep. We fall into a kind of slumber, enjoying having so much possession, and we forget to do the basics, Ox.
Aye, we dominate the body, got the part for it for the first time. Slack play by Ben Davis again, who we were saying was a steady player up until last week he was. We then lose a set piece, they put the ball in the box, there's panic station, and the boys scores a world day, if we're being honest, Billy. But we had enough chances to clear the ball.
That's right. You're bang on, 110% correct. I thought when you watch it back as well, you can see Alan McGregor, he's going off his head because we didn't get out to shut the cross down quick enough, and we gave them time. I mean, I think we were asking at that point in time for the goal, Ox. It was about 5 or 6 yards off him. You know what I mean? You've got to get closer. You've got to try and nullify that ball coming into the box. And he did do that. And I think that's how Big McGregor was angry with him. You know what I mean? And listen, we'll forgive the laddie, because I'm sure we'll speak about it as the show goes on, other goals and whatnot, because he learned because obviously the next goal he definitely got out quicker, but it was a calamity errors again. But it was you've got to take your hat off to the St Mirren player.
Stick to the first goal. We've not got to the second one yet. We've still to get there.
Aye. No, I'm saying you take your hat off to the St Mirren player as well, Ox, because he takes a brilliant touch on his chest.
Great goal. It's a great goal.
Scored a great volley, and it's richly deserved, because it was a top notch finish for the boy, top notch.
So we went flat at half time because we've dominated. We should be 2 or 3 up, if I'm being honest, Mitch, but we're not. It's 1 each.
Yeah, and to be honest, as Billy says there, their first goal was just a cracker. The control of his chest and hitting it on the volley, just amazing. Absolutely brilliant goal. We've nothing to do with that. And yeah, we're going at half time, we're wondering, how can that be 1 each? That's straight. How can it be 1 each? We're miles and miles and miles ahead of this team. How can it be 1 each? Just shows you. Same every week, or it feels like that every week now.
And you're thinking, here we go, GB. We started the second half and we kept playing reasonably well. We're playing at a decent tempo. I think the first half, I thought Raskin was our best player, supported with Cantwell. They played badly. And then some were better than others. There was no horror stories. And then we get a goal, we get a free kick, Bonner puts in fashion. Does what fashion does, GB.
Aye, great. It was a great cross through Bonner, Ox, right on the money. And I say, like you say, is fashion there with a header. I mean, we don't see many of strikers scoring headers, especially that low down. But he placed it lovely, didn't he? Right in the bottom corner, and gave the keeper no chance. Saying that, Alfredo was sniffing about as well for any ricochets. But again, this is what fashion can give us. He's got that in his locker. These wee, like, worldly goals, I know. But as the manager's said in his presser about him, he blasted him a wee bit, which was good to know that the manager's on their heels, because he was a bit erratic at times again. But his goal was well taken, Ox. And again, we put ourselves back into the driving seat, Ox, and you think this is us, we'll step it back up again, and we'll continue on the demolishing of St Mirren.
So we're 2-1 up, Billy. You're thinking, right, get a third one here, and again, this can be anything we want. They go up the park for about the second or third time in the match. Breakaway down the left. Again, loose play by Ben Davis. He should clear it. Guy puts in, Tab puts in for the corner. For the resulting corner kick, common errors, and again the boy O'Hara with a good finish, and the next thing you crack your head goes, how is this 2 each, Billy?
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, the corner kick, we try to defend the corner. It gets headed out the box, and then Raskin tries to go. If you watch it again, Raskin goes to try and shut the boy down, but this time we didn't get out to the actual player that's took the corner, and then he fires the ball into the box. I think it takes a wee nick off of one of the Rangers players as it gets played into the box. And then Lundstrom, I don't know what Johnny Lundstrom was trying to do. He sticks a leg out, it goes away up in the air, and then he gets in the road of Big Shooter, and Big Shooter's coming over the top of him to try and clear it. And the boys,
he was a Superman, Big Shooter, wasn't he?
That's what he can clatter him right over the top of Lundstrom. You've got in his road. The laddie's trying to clear the ball away, and then all of a sudden the ball breaks to the St Mirren player, and he's stuck it away and drilled it into the bottom corner, and it's game on again. I'm saying, how's this happening? But it was a calamity errors, wasn't it? A calamity errors.
Aye, so 2 each. 2 each, and then, well, we changed that Matondo had come on, which I thought was a strange substitution, GB. I thought Fashion looked one of the guys that was likely to score, but ultimately the gaffer got it right. Matondo comes on, he's playing wide left, right on the touchline.
Aye, and his space, Ox, and I mean, we made the subs at 76 minutes. I was a wee bit kind of the same as the old firm, kind of jumping up and down a wee bit, saying why you again these guys only 15 minutes again to try and change a game, and the manager made me eat my words because all of the substitutions that came on, Ox, I felt they made a good impact in the last 15 minutes. Rabbi, again, like you say, is a surprise. I didn't honestly think we'd see him back in a Rangers shirt. I just thought that ship had passed, but it shows you the manager's still got to give the boy a chance, and he's got something, Ox, isn't he? I mean, that pace that he's got, see if we play to hit that boy's strengths, and I don't know, if he gathers some sort of confidence, we might actually get to see the best of him, because what a cutback he done for Alfie for his goal.
That's a really cracking cutback, GB. Brilliant. I thought Alfie stuck it away really well. That's one of the really, really critical goal for Alfie. Superb. That cheered them up.
Good finish, Bridge, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
So Alfie gets his 2 goals. The cutback and the finish was the pick of the 2. And then he scores a goal that was just out of this world. 60 passes, Bridge, man. A run by Cantwell, a nice wee ball through. And then Scotty Arfield does what he does, scored his 9th goal of the season, Bridge. What a goal it was.
Fabulous goal. Fabulous goal. In anybody's language, anybody that sees that goal, they can do nothing but in awe. And the finishing was the cheekiest wee bit of finishing you'll ever see, both from Cantwell and Arfield. Just wonderful. Great to watch. That's the way we should be playing football. That's how easy it is to score goals when we play that type of football. It's there. We're not doing it enough, obviously. But really and truly, well done to Arfield and Cantwell. Well done to the two of them. Brilliant.
Right. Okay. Right. We can go back to the game, but I think we better get these phone lines open, Billy.
Aye, bring the Bears on, buddy. Bring them on.
I still want to track down Willie H. You know, Willie, that's not an uncommon name in our support, is it? Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Ox, I'm sure that's Billy's Sunday name, that Will H. I think he may be on it a new tap there.
Yeah, I don't know what the H stands for right enough.
Code name.
Huge.
No, Mikhailichenko anyway.
Hung.
Oh dear. Right. Aye, so time to reflect. Cantwell, man of the match, scored a decent goal, involved in 2 good goals, worked hard. Got to learn not to get silly bookings, Bridgeman.
No, you're absolutely right. It's maybe 3 or 4 bookings. I can't understand what he was doing to get the. I'm talking about not in yesterday's game or Saturday's game, but in recent games, I can't understand what it is. Obviously, he's keen and he goes in, and sometimes you don't get the break of the ball, and sometimes it goes against you. But he's building up a wee bit of a reputation for getting yellow cards. But other than that, I think he's a fabulous game. Outstanding player in the park over 90 minutes. Outstanding.
Do you agree, Billy?
Aye, definitely. He just listen. He's still a pup too, Ox. So the lad he'll learn. I'm sure. I mean, there's more experienced players than him pick up silly bookings, Ox. But if he can try and rectify that and get it out his game, then I mean he doesn't need to really get into these tackles and flying into tackles and different things, because he's merely a ball player. I mean, the skill he showed for our fifth goal was just brilliant. I mean, he's took on 3 players and a wee drop of the shooter in the box, and he's played that wee reverse pass into Scotty Arfield, and that's Scotty Arfield's trademark run into that wee dink, and then flicked it by the keeper. It was a fabulous Rangers goal. But listen, he'll get it. If he gets it out of his game, he'll get it out of his game. And as I said, he'll not be the first and he'll not be the last.
Would you give him man of the match, Billy? Yeah?
Yep, I would definitely give him man of the match. Cantwell was my man of the match.
Okay.
Definitely, buddy.
All right, GB.
Aye, Ox and Billy, I totally agree. He was man of the match. He was involved in both halves and he was just on it on Saturday. That was probably the best I've probably seen Cantwell play. On the yellow card side of things, I don't really want him to lose too much it, because we are known as being the kind of nice guy team, and Cantwell seems to want to get into the game, stuck into the game, win the ball back for the team and drive. That last goal, the way he grabs the ball, and it was all him. His drive. I think he beat about 4 players before he played that wee kind of cheeky pass for Arfield. It's been a long time since I've seen a midfielder be so creative for us like that. And long may it continue, Ox, because we've been badly needing it. And hopefully, like I say, he'll just keep growing and growing in that position. Because I think between him and Raskin now, Raskin had a shot and goal as well in the second half early on. And as much as it was a kind of one across the grass, and you can tell the boys trying stuff. And if we're going to get goals from midfield, then happy days.
For me, if you'd have stopped it, if our best player in the first half of the piece was Raskin, I thought some of his first time passing, he tired again as the game went on, and I think he was rightly substituted. I'd actually took Lundstrom and Cantwell off because he'd been booked, if I'm being honest, Billy. But the first half, I thought Raskin, but the other 90 minutes, I agree that Cantwell was the man of the match. Yeah?
Aye, Cantwell, as I said before there, Ox, Cantwell was definitely the man of the match. But regarding Raskin, I think he's out a similar, we've got to remember, a similar mould as Big Malik Tillman as well, because a lot of people were calling the big man, he was a wee bit lazy and he was this and he was that, you know what I mean? He didn't look as if he was trying. And I just put it down to him getting up to speed with the Scottish game, and I think it's going to be the same with Raskin. The more minutes he gets under his belt, Ox, and the more he gets to understand the Scottish game, the better he'll get, because listen, there's a player in there all day long, we can all see it, but he'll get better, and that's what I think it is, Ox. He's just picking his way through the different hurdles as he's coming on game by game. But that boy will come on good as well. But I'm going to take you back a wee bit, mate, to Cantwell's first goal. I thought the near post run, mate, was just different class. And that's something that we're really lacking in games as well. Players making their runs, but he made it on Saturday and he got his rewards.
Aye, getting runners through midfield, mate. Our midfield, the minimum for them should be half a dozen goals a season, mate. And he's got 2 already, and he's been involved in assists. But I think when we started dissecting, we're just talking since Michael Beale came in here, GB. We're scoring enough goals. In 22 games, we've scored 57 goals. But in 22 games, we've lost 23 goals. Therein lies the problem. We're maybe conceding too many.
Oh, so I'm glad that you kind of brought the defensive side up for me. It's something that Beale will probably have to look at. He's got a defensive coach in. It's a young guy, a bit of a novice, as much as he's fully qualified and stuff like that. But this is the problem, that we're bringing in guys that are kind of new to it, teaching, if you mean. And like I says, it's an area, if this continues, it's really something Beale's got to look at in the coaching side of it, because like I says, that second goal, there was 5 Rangers players looking in the sky at the ball in the air, and not one of them dealt with it properly. You had, like you say, Suter coming in like Superman there, the tap of John Lundstrom, and granted he's trying his best to clear it, but come on, that boy O'Hara had another free shot. Nobody was on him. He had time to take the ball and dig it right in the bottom corner. So it's just, you go to wonder again, let's say, the coaching. It's all right bringing in these young up and coming coaches and stuff like that, but as we know with what happened with Gio, with that guy for Ajax and stuff like that, it's sometimes a detriment to the team. And like I says, if there's better people out there that can coach it, then it's something we need to invest in.
Yeah. I think the problem is that Connor Golson, Bridgeman, is that much of an organiser. It's open for debate what kind of player you think Connor is, but he is an organiser, Bridge.
Well, he's sort of marshal, isn't he? He's a sort of defensive marshal, and has been since he came there. Unfortunately for him, Tav already had the captain's jersey. Otherwise, I think Golson could have got it. He's not the biggest centre half in the whole world, but he's very good at marshalling the troops, and he's good at going forward and takes the team with him. Obviously, the big problem we've got when it comes to it is we're not so, shall we say, we're not so confident going and defending properly. And Connor Golson isn't scared to put the ball at the park, but sometimes he gets himself caught up in no marking or losing his marker. And sometimes we've lost some goals through the middle when Golson was there. Not it's his fault. That's just a weakness we've got in the team. But yes, Connor Golson for me, 100%. Great marshal of your team, and I think he does a great job. When he's got a left-footed centre half with him, he does a great job.
What's your initial thoughts on Suter, mate? Now that he's starting to get involved.
You want me to say that?
Aye, you, Bridge.
I think that Mr. Suter, I don't think he's strong enough in what he wants to do. I can see what he wants to do a lot of the time, and there's sometimes it comes off and it looks no bad. But in general, I don't think he's strong enough, and the other boys running about him might not see what he's actually trying to do. But he can get himself into a lot of trouble, and in turn, some of the wee touches he's got don't come off, particularly those blind passes he tries sometimes. But then everybody's got that problem with a blind pass anyway. So I'm not trying to take too much away from him. I don't see him. I really don't see him being a number one centre half at the Rangers come the close season. I don't think that's going to happen. I think our manager's going to bring in someone else. I think so.
What's your thoughts, Billy?
On Big Suter?
Aye.
I think just to concur what Bridge said as well, but we've got to remember as well, he's not played a lot of football for us at the back there now, and he's obviously with Connor Golson been out, he's still learning a partnership with Ben Davis, so we've got to cut the boy some slack regarding that and that issue. I actually like the laddie, Big Suter, but only time will tell if he's going to go in and stamp his authority in the T-Mox. But he done well when he was with the Hearts, and he done well when he played with Dundee United. So it's a completely different ball game now when he's playing with the Glasgow Rangers, isn't it? So only time will tell if he's going to be a domineering centre half. But listen, I think he can slip in it right back and also he's got cover there for James Tavernier, like you know. But as I said, only time will tell, Ox.
I get what Bridge is saying, that he's maybe no firing on all cylinders yet, GB, but what I did like about him, he just comes, rightly or wrongly, he's coming and trying to win every header.
Oh, there's endeavour there, Ox, but just if he is coming to win the header, he's got to make sure he does it. I mean, he's gone that full blast on top of Lundstrom to win that ball, and again, it goes nowhere. He doesn't even get a touch to it. Again, I don't want to criticise him too much because he is just in the door after injury, and I mean that's 2 games. He fallen in the last game, and apart from the mistake of the last game, then you would have said he'd had a steady Eddie game. I think he'll be fine for the league, Ox, against the teams like say your St Mirrens and stuff like that. But my worry is, like say, when he's up against Champions League teams, like as much as even our good defenders have had challenges against Champions League teams, Big Suitor's got to be a wee bit more switched on, and that will only come with playing these kind of games. And hopefully, like I says, we'll see that when he gets his chance next season. But the jury's still out. As Bridge says, I think for now he's still a squad player for Rangers, depending how Goldson is.
All right. Jury's still out. I think that's fair. I mean, we can't judge him in 2 games, can we, Billy?
Oh, that's what I'm saying, Ox. You can't, buddy. It's he's going to take time to settle in there into that position and build up an understanding with Ben Davies or whoever his centre half partner is. But listen, he's going to be needed, and it's all about the squad as well. Well known now. I mean, there's obviously you've got your stick-on starters like you're having here for talking's sake, and then obviously you want a steady and a settled back four. But we'll give the laddie time. You know what I mean? He's still learning his trade at Ibrox, and let's keep hoping that he's going to come on to a game and do the business for the Rangers, buddy.
Somebody we've been pretty complimentary about on here, Bridgeman, is Ben Davies. We've said he was steady and he made the right decisions, kept it simple. We knew he wasn't that aggressive. The last 2 games, he's been caught, how do I put it, messing about, mate. Yeah, he's not had a great last couple of games, mate.
Yeah, if you take a couple of steps back, what we were saying was that Big Suitor isn't a great centre half. That's all I was saying about that, and that shows his partnership with Davies isn't the greatest. And that's not to say that he's got a great partnership with Connor Golson, but he's got a better partnership with Connor Golson. He doesn't make as many mistakes as he does when Golson's there. He doesn't make that many mistakes.
But the mistakes he made were on the left side of the park.
Yes, I know where they were.
I don't know if you can.
It's just the influence. That's all. It's just the influence you get from someone there and a bit of trust in them and so on and so forth, and they've got trust in you. I think he's a bit shaky when he's playing alongside Mr. Suitor. That's what I think. Still on the left-hand side, and he's still making mistakes. He still made the mistake. His reading of the game isn't as great, and there's nobody there other than him. They're looking to him to do the marshalling to Ben Davies because Golson's not there, whereas Golson is the marshaller. And other people should be doing the marshalling because Ben Davies is not marshal. He doesn't do it. And neither will Suitor.
We've been kind to Ben Davies, GB. We've said he's consistent, and he had been reasonably. But the last 2 games, he's, I'll be kind, say lacks a concentration, yeah.
Aye, sleeping a lot, Ox. I think Bridge is kind of hit the nail on the head where we're saying that it's the kind of lackadaisical side. He's needed somebody beside him to tell him where to be, when to go, that kind of stuff. And Golson's, the two of them built up a brilliant partnership. I think that where Suitors came in as kind of like the young apprentice, where the kind of boy it's been 2 years into his kind of plumbing game kind of thing. It's that kind of way, whereas Golson's the tradesman. And I think what it says is, if it's going to continue, they're going to have to learn the game together. They're going to learn that partnership to get an understanding of who's dealing with what. As much as, like you say, Ox, it's came down the left, I still think Ben Davies has needed that kind of reassurance for Golson to say, right, go and deal with him or push up or whatever. But that's a concern, Ox. Ben Davies should know that side of the game. He should be the one teaching maybe John Suitor a wee bit of the game. I mean, with his experience.
I'll be honest with you, Billy. I think they two are talking at their backside. I don't think the right on centre half's getting to do with the others. Davies has made them down to him and nobody else.
Aye, listen, but another thing as well, I don't know if anybody's picked on it. I think it could be down to concentration levels as well, because we're getting the ball for long periods and we're dominating the ball for long periods of time and within games. So it doesn't matter. I think we just go to sleep at times, and it happens right across the back four. It happens in the midfield, and it happens up front. And we make silly decisions in games. You know what I mean? For talking sake, perfect example, playing blind passes and whatnot. But listen, you'll get away with these errors against lesser opposition, pardon the pun. But when you play a better team, these teams will punish you for these errors. You know what I mean? It's all right, we look back at the game at the weekend there and say, right, we won 5-2. But look at the 2 goals we lost. That's just sloppy, silly football, eh? And we need to learn to cut that out. And when we cut that out, we cut the silly errors out, then that's when we win games confidently. And then we can go in there and we can kick on and start to win trophies, because the way things are in big games, if we're going to keep away, getting stupid goals away and making comedy errors, we're not going to win nothing. And that's the only thing that concerns me. But we need to just cut it out. That's all. Because the football's all there. We know the football's there. It's just the individual errors in games it's concerning, Ox.
Come back to the Ben Davies point. I mean, for me, he wasn't exactly culpable when the ball was put in the net, but his lack of decision making led to the incident with both goals for me. Loose in the tackle, casual in the tackle, however you want to put it. The same as he was trying to be too casual last week. The big moment in the game when we lost that second goal last week. And it's something he's going to have to eradicate for his game, Bridgeman.
100%, yeah. And or indeed, the manager has got to speak to him because he's got to. I do think he's got to regain the manager's trust, because the manager's trusted him up to now. And I think you saw at the weekend there, as soon as things happened, the manager's got him off as quick as possible. You know, he was an automatic to get taken off. Although I must admit, I didn't think he should have taken him off at that time, but the manager was right, and the result of the game proved it, and the way where football started. Because Ben Davies is good, a really good player coming out, moves smoothly, and has got quite a good pass on him, and can help to start attacks. I'm afraid when he's stuck in the box, both him and Suter are no good to us, because they really don't know about the art of defending, shall we say. They just don't seem to have it. But when they come forward, they're not too bad. I'm afraid that defending, we're stuck. And come back, get goals and back as quickly as possible for me.
Well, obviously he's got to be fit first. He's got to be fit. But that doesn't take away from Ben Davies' errors. Gary, you had some points you wanted to make?
It's a kind of the Ben Davies thing. I bet you it's kind of flung the manager a wee bit sideways as well with the last 2 games he's had, because he's, as much as he's turned around and says that he knows what players he wants in the summer and stuff like that, if this continues, if this becomes a thing, then the manager's going to have to invest in that area, because he'll not have always that trust in Ben Davies to deal with the big moments, Ox, because this is what it is. It's moments where these teams have got a chance. Like say St Mirren, they're hoping for a ricochet, they're hoping for a mistake, and that one chance for them to get back in the game, because they know they're not going to get many chances. And it's the same with the Old Firm game. There wasn't many chances there, but all they needed was that one. And you could tell the manager was angry in his press conference about it. I mean, he's not happy about how that defensive side is. You know, he's mentioned before he doesn't mind us conceding as long as we're scoring enough going forward, but it's the way we're conceding that's annoying the manager. And I think the players that are doing that partnership, they're going to know about it, and they'll not be in the team, I don't think, Hawks, if it continues that way.
We'll see. Interesting. You know, maybe it's a curse. Us saying he's a steady player. Maybe we've cursed him.
Aye, he's got the Rangers radio jinx, hasn't he? Sorry, Ben. Oh, listen, he's a tidy enough football player, we know that, but listen, Bridgeman will know as well as he played in that position for long enough, so mistakes happen to everybody, as I said. It happens at the back, it happens to your full backs, your midfield. We all make mistakes, like, you know, but that's just a wee thing that's concerning me, Ox. It's just we need to cut out these sloppy individual errors, and once we do that, we'll start by getting ourselves a lot better over the park, and it'll only breed more positive confidence for the rest of the team going forward.
Here. I'm trying to be constructive in my criticism here. People can make errors in a game of football. You know what happens, GB?
Aye, Ox. I mean, it is. All the other games that he's played in, he's been solid, and I think that's just basically because him and Golson have struck up a really good partnership. I think the two of them have got a perfect understanding, and I think this kind of injury to Golson's probably flung Ben Davies as well. I think Ben Davies has been so relaxed in his position, knowing that he's got Golson beside him and to help each other. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. And whereas Suarez came in, and I would imagine even in training, the two of them have not had much time together. So it's just another partnership. It's probably good in a sense that the two of them are getting a chance to play together, because we can't rely on Golson all the time. He is getting older, and these injuries will creep in every now and then in a season. So
It was a mistake getting him a 4-year deal, mate.
Possibly, Ox. Maybe, again, like I said to you, maybe the manager will need to have a look at his transfer window, because it's all right saying you've got 5 players on your list, but as we're seeing now, it only takes one injury to upset the apple cart. You know what I mean? And like I say, if the team has not got an understanding at the back, then conceding goals is just as bad with goal difference. You know that, Ox. You know what I mean? It's going to be really important in our league, I think. That we have shutouts. So it's a partnership I'd like to see progress and get more solid. But if it doesn't, Ox, then like I say, the manager's got to seriously look at it.
Right. Get yourselves on mute, lads, because we're going to have a tune.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. Had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 55 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. Start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 65 titles, we're still going strong. Start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 55
don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hi, gentlemen.
Yep.
Right, okay. Look, I thought at times we played some decent stuff at the weekend there, GB, if I'm being honest, you know. Did we miss Ryan Kent, mate?
Great question. Mate, I tell you, this shows you there is life after a player. I thought it actually freed up Cantwell a lot more on that side. I think more players got involved. I don't know if that's right, Ox, but I felt as if more players were overall involved in the game. I think Kent gets a lot of the ball, if you mean, in the whole creation of a goal or trying to create something. But no, mate, in a good way, we didn't miss him. I felt even, like I says, about the Rabbi Matondo getting a wee turn down the left side for 15 odd minutes. He done no too bad, Docs. I think the boy maybe definitely needs more time. But it's a position that, like I says, I think we can progress in without Kent, Ox. It is time. I honestly do believe. I think it's best for Ryan to move on, and I think it's best for the club to move on and put somebody in that side that's going to be hungry to create. And we've proved that we can't. Well, we've got him in there. He's driving forward. He's making players make mistakes, and we're getting some decent goals at Ox. So I don't think we missed him, mate. In the long short answer.
Right, okay. I mean, it was replaced with Fashion, and Fashion started playing on the left of the forward line, Billy. Didn't he? He grew into the game, and then he scores a goal with Header. Ryan Kent's not going to do that, is he?
No, you wouldn't have thought so. No, in current form anyway, Ox. But it just shows you. It's maybe a blessing in disguise. We can't be out because it maybe give him the wee kick up the calibre that he deserves, like, you know. And if he's sitting watching that, he'll obviously know, well, hold on now, I'm no first pick here. You know what I mean? When he maybe think he is. But regarding Fashion, we know what we got with Fashion. Fashion just lacks a wee bit of composure, Ox. Because he's certainly got ability and he's got all the pace in the world to burn, and it doesn't matter what side he goes down, if he goes down the left or the right or through the middle. You know what I mean? Defenders actually they hate that. Players running at them, and especially more so when they're running in behind, like Fashion can do, like, you know. But listen, to answer your question as well regarding Ryan Kent, on the evidence at the weekend, we scored 5 goals and we won 5-2, and he wasn't playing, so we didn't miss him at all when you look at it from that perspective.
Aye. It's all about numbers. It's not about ability, but it's just it.
No, absolutely right. But I have to say on the Ryan Kent thing, I think Kent's carrying an injury. I think he's been carrying it for maybe 5 or 6 weeks, because that's not the same player that started this evening. Even at the beginning of the season, he was playing far better than that, and he's sunk away to virtually nothing, to a point where we've got our pundits here, and myself included, saying we didn't even miss him. You know, so there's definitely something wrong with the lad, in my opinion. I don't know whether they'll ever get to the bottom of it.
I think you've been very, very kind, Mr. Bridgman.
I think so too, but I don't want to be too down on him. I think he's what a career. I'm watching his career now from 2 years ago to a year ago, in a European front, and he's playing in Seville in a Cup Winners' Cup, no Cup Winners' Cup, but a Europa Cup final. And look where he is now. Two years later, he can't get a game for the Rangers because he's rubbish.
He's injured. He's injured, didn't he?
Yeah,
allegedly.
I think so badly.
That's how. But I think it might be time. I think you might be right, GB. It might be time to shake hands, mate.
I think, like I say, sometimes you become too predictable in a team. I think a lot of our sides now in our league know how Ryan Kent operates and stuff like that, and even across the city, I think have got an understanding of how Ryan Kent is. They know he's dangerous, Ox. I mean, you know, if you give that boy time, he can be deadly. But I think Ryan's kind of starting to show now that it's like Bridge maybe touched on an injury. I think for me, I think he's managing himself. If you mean, what he probably doesn't want to go in there and have a horrendous injury, considering he's out of contract at the end of the season. So whatever plans he's got for going to another team, he'll be wanting to make sure he's in prime condition moving on. And I think for Rangers, even the wages it would free up, Hawks, I think investing the wages into somebody else who's young and hungry, who doesn't know the Scottish game, and the Scottish teams don't know him, I think it would be a blessing for us. I think it would create more goals, more opportunities. Aye, which we need, Ox. We're desperately need more goals because that's what will win us titles.
Are we at the end? Have I been cruel, Billy?
Listen, we've all got our own ideas on Ryan Kent and Alfredo Morelos, the contract situation. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of what's going on, and the gaffer Michael Beale spoke to the players individually, or maybe sat the two of them down and spoke to them collectively, spoke to their agents or whatnot. But we've got to. I know it's like a catch-22 situation now, Ox, because some of the players have just stood that wee while longer, and we've got to be careful what we're doing here as well, because we don't want to weaken the pool by getting rid of XYZ. I mean, we could have done that a couple of years ago.
We can't control Morelos or Kent.
That's right. Aye. Yeah, I get that as well, but we need to be careful here as well, Ox, with what we're doing regarding players in, players out, because for talking's sake, say Ryan Kent and Alfredo Morelos leaving the summertime, we've got to make sure that we've got to get two players of that standard or better, and we've got to make sure that they two players, if they come into these two positions, are got to come in and hit the ground running. You know what I mean? Because we can't have players that's got to come in and be projects type thing again, like, you know?
Yeah. Well, if you just look at the numbers, forget about Alfredo, because we're talking about Ryan Kent, GB.
Aye.
Just look at the numbers. The last 2 seasons, 6 goals, mate.
Aye. You can't have that, Ox. It's, as much as he works hard, he tracks back and all the rest of it, Ox, we need, in our league, and to be honest, Ox, let's look at it. We've looked at the season this year with the teams in the Scottish League and how they're performing and stuff like that. Ryan Kent should be eating them up for breakfast. I mean, he should be absolutely destroying some of the right backs and left backs and all that. He doesn't drive enough at them, and he's shooting. I've not seen him shoot since probably his European run last season. So he's got to, if he's going to stay, Ox, the manager's got to have a serious sit down and say, like, you're got to be a proper attacking player for us and get goals and numbers. But I think, honestly, it'd be a bad choice for the manager. I think he'd be filling a position there that, like you say, Ox, we've got fashion there. Aye, he's unpredictable. Aye, he can be a bit erratic, but he gets you goals. I would rather have 2 fashions sitting on the bench for his wages than one Ryan Kent run about like a headless chicken.
Richmond, do you know something? The Morelos and Kent, man, obviously the information we had is that there's no sign for anybody. Had they been badly advised? Because if they were to get a real serious injury, they're finished with us and they've not got contracts at other clubs, it's a strange place to leave yourself, isn't it? GB?
Ox, probably why the performances have been a bit up and down. I mean, I think, honestly, the whole Ryan Kent thing that I touched on, I think Ryan, he's trying, but I don't think he's getting down and dirty, if you mean, like, pure, like, right in about it, 100%. Whereas I think Fredo at the weekend, he gets his 2 goals. That didn't look like a guy that didn't want to try, you know what I mean? But again, I think in times with Alfredo this season, he's been kind of managing the game and picking and choosing when he wants to shine, kind of thing. So it's a strange one. their agents leaving them open like that, they must have great faith in them that they're going to see out the season injury free, or the clubs that are looking at them are happy to take them on, whether they're carrying anything. You mean?
Well, if you've not signed anything, mate, you could have been left in limbo.
Aye, and you're having to cover yourself, Ox. But Ox, you touched on that we're not in control of the two of them. But to be fair, I think Rangers should be in control in the sense of, even if it does come at the end of the season and they came back to us and says, "Oh, we want to take up the offers that you gave us," I think the club should be turning around and saying, "No, boys, I'm sorry, the journey's finished. We're moving on to our next new players coming into the club." I think that's where we've got the control.
Aye, only at the end of the contract if nobody signed them. But I think, like Goldstein last year, it's a big gamble, Billy. Yeah?
I was just scribbling a couple of things down there, Ox, and that was one of the words I actually scribbled down. It's a massive gamble for the players because, I mean, they're playing in week in, week out type thing, and they could get we all want them to be fit and healthy, and have a great career, but injuries are part and parcel of football, aren't they? And even in training, you could get clattered in training as well, and you could, look what happened to Tom Lawrence, for talking's sake. He hurt himself in training as well. So these things happen. But they must really have some great faith in their agents, as you rightly say, Docs. If they're leaving themselves wide open to the summertime, haven't they?
Aye. Yes. Fox has messaged me saying no one's saying they'll no sign. I know, but if you're playing like Goldson does waiting to the last, then the club decide to withdraw the offer, you could be left in limbo. Listen, it's up to them, I suppose, GB.
As Ox, it's their career. But says, if I was probably Ryan Kent's agent, I would probably be saying to him, look, it is time to move on. I think he's went stale in the last couple of seasons for Rangers. Like you say, Ox, 6 goals in 2 seasons, you said there. Even he knows that that's not good enough at a club. And what is quite laughable is the clubs that he's linked with, that they are happy to take a guy on like that into the so-called Premier League, and he's only got to give you 6 goals in 2 seasons. It's a big. I suppose they're looking at it a free transfer as buttons to them. You mean whatever they're paying in wages, but I don't. One thing I think, Ox, you've made the point before on. Both players, if they do leave, they're not going to have the chance of European football every season. They're not going to have the chance of winning trophies every season. They're going to probably look back and players that's left and go, probably made the mad choice there. I probably should have tried harder at the time. Right,
okay. Come and give your thoughts. Is it over for Ryan Kent? 0141 356 1972. Come and join us. Phone in. Speak to your lovely receptionist on duty this evening. Right, okay. Man.
Your thoughts?
I think the ship's sailed, mate. I think the ship's sailed. If Frank Kent was scoring a dozen goals every season and he's 55 for him, we'd be saying, we'll get a big gap to fill here. 6 goals. Nearly starts every week, mate. All right, he's got a few assists in there as well, but his numbers and assists on the top draw near him. But that's what you're judged as a forward player. GB, if that makes sense, that's it. You know?
I think the manager's been a bit blindsided with playing him all the time, Oxley, now, because as much as obviously he's injured, I know that, but I think the manager's...
Up until last week, mate, I would have picked him as well.
Nah, true.
You know, you've got to be fair to Michael Beale as well, Billy, yeah?
Aye, I mean, I think as well, Michael Beale will know, right? You know the knowledge Michael Beale's got in the football, especially around about the youth set-up type thing. So Michael Beale will know Ryan Kent inside out, Ox. So, I mean, only time will tell on this one. But listen, stranger things have happened in football. Many times we sat on this show and we've spoke about we didn't fancy this one, we didn't fancy that one, and then lo and behold they go and kick on. You know what I mean? So it could happen with Ryan Kent and it could happen with Alfredo Morelos as well. They could sign new deals in the summer for the Rangers and go and kick on and we could get money for them. You never know what's round the corner in football, didn't you know?
I didn't think there was a hope that Golson would re-sign, you know, and then all of a sudden, between Seville and the cup final, he'd re-signed. I was shocked, if I'm being honest.
That's exactly the point I'm trying to make, Ox. That's exactly the point. You just never know. You know what I mean? We don't know as I said, didn't know the contract situation between Rangers and Connor Golson prior to him signing that new deal. You know what I mean? And his agent talking to the club and whatnot. So it'll be along the same scenario as I would imagine with Ryan Kent and Alfredo Morelos, for talking's sake, you know. So as I said, stranger things have happened in football, mate, and only time will tell on this one. But one thing we do need, we do need to bring in more quality in different positions to back up with what we've already got here.
GB, yes or no? On the spot, yes or no?
For the end of the road for Ryan Kent?
Yes or no? Come on.
No.
I'm not going to ask you, Billy, because you can't do yes or no. It's too difficult for you.
No, I want him to sign, mate. I'll be controversial.
You want him to sign, re-sign, do you?
Yep.
All right, okay.
I'm a wee bit different on that now. I don't think Kent will sign again. I think he's
would you sign him, yes or no?
Maybe.
Would you sign him?
No for me.
Ship sail. 3-1, Billy boy. 3-1.
Ah, well, it's all about opinions, pal. It's all about opinions. I'll probably be getting shot down in flames for it, but it's all about opinions.
It'll not be the first time and it won't be the last.
Correct, Amundo.
We all get it right on here, GP.
Oh, if you do get it right on here, Rox, you're slaughtered, mate. You report to HR, as you say, mate.
I'm still getting stick for Herrera if it's outside.
I know. I keep hearing that. I wonder, we to try and rewind all the shows and find what Southside's touted a guy for. We to find a player in amongst them.
Southside tout stuff every week in Disney Store. Southside Super 6.
Oh, class.
Aye. You make a statement. I mean, look at us with Ben Davis. I was saying a couple of weeks ago, Bridgie was sailing along pretty consistent under the radar. Don't make him do a lot wrong. Give him a curse, didn't I?
Yeah, and you know, the games that we've been playing are every week is getting more and more, shall we? Even although we're not going to win the league, by the look of it, even though that's happened, these games are absolutely crucial for Rangers. Crucial. And that's 2 games he's made a big boo-boo in. Maybe a couple of boo-boos, but he got away with the other ones. But seriously, he's just, it's as if his confidence goes and his bottle went or whatever, you know, a number of them, you know. It's a sin for him because I think he's quite a good player. And it's somebody that probably needs time. He needs time. He's not got a dash of pace that might be required, and that might be his downfall as well.
Yeah, when I look at the things he's been involved with, he's been there. He's got himself there and he's got himself in the right position, and he's been lackadaisical, if that's fair, Billy.
Aye, that's right, Ox. I spoke about it earlier on there. It's down to concentration. Concentration's massive in football. We all know that. You've got to be switched on for 90 plus minutes in a game. The minute you switch off, that's when you find chinks in your armour, and that's when you get punished. We know Ben Davis is maybe no blessed with the blessed with a.
What did we just talk about before the show? You can't say chinks in your armour anymore.
Well, aye, true. True. Oh,
Red card.
Red card off. Oh, I've got to get booked first. Well, listen, Ben Davis, he's no blessed with pace, and you know, we all know that, but he is a good reader of the BEM. He's a good reader of the game, and he's got a nice tidy left foot on him. But as I said, concentration is massive in football, and especially more so when you're you're dominating the ball for long periods of time in games. I mean, I can remember Andy Gorham speaking about it. Even from a goalkeeper's point of view, he says I had to be switched on for 90 minutes, even though I wasn't virtually no doing anything, because when I was called upon, I had to do my job. You know what I mean? So that just shows you it came for the goalie when the goalie was talking about that, with the players he had in front of him, and you're talking about the guys like Richard Gough and whatnot. You know what I mean? So concentration is massive for me, and football, especially at the top end level.
Aye, I get it, man.
Ox, you know what's
Carry on, mate.
Sorry, Ox. You know what's surprising, and it's just because I remembered it. We always said about Ben Davies that he was a no-nonsense defender. If he was ever unsure, he would just kick it out of the park. You know what I mean, and make sure. But recently, with the kind of ones he's been making the mistakes, he's not been dealing with it. And I don't know if somebody's telling him to start being a football player or something like that. But just get back to the basics. Ben Davies.
Did you mention mistakes?
Yes.
We're talking about mistakes. We've been joined by old David. Evening, David.
Evening, boys. How are they?
Evening, brother.
Good to hear you. I missed the early part of the show, but I don't know who. Somebody was saying something about Keith Morelos and Kent. You must be on drugs. But you're watching something. You must be watching something that I'm watching.
Listen to. What show you been listening to, Davey?
That one. The one you were watching. I knew you were on the night bridge.
Oh, you're wrong. We weren't saying we're going to keep this or keep that. He was asking a question. Oxtail just asked a question. Did we keep him or no? Somebody said no. Somebody said aye.
We were only talking about... We never got to Morelos, David. We were only talking about Ryan.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you now.
All right. Listen, Davey, thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you after your birthday, mate, all right?
We're just killing time. Come on.
I know, Billy, I know. But no, that wasn't the point. I just thought I'd bring that up.
The question was, it was a yes or a no answer. What do you think? And 3 intelligent people said no, and Billy said yes.
Yes, okay. Well, there's what I was actually going to... I don't know if you have debated it yet, but do you see the Rangers' last goal? Do you know there were 60 passes?
Yeah, but we done that at 8:05, David. Thanks for the call. We'll speak to you soon.
I knew you'd say that. You'd just say that, Eddie.
It was a brilliant goal, Davey, wasn't it?
60 passes, man. I mean, against any kind of team, bump, and then the finish. Man, that's what we're looking for all the time, isn't it, guys?
Aye, I think the problem is because of the way the circumstances in the league this year, you don't look out favourably. There was still a good goal. GB then, Billy.
It was a fantastic goal. Do you know how good it is? See the goalkeeper, see when the ball went in the back of the net, their goalkeeper was absolutely bealing. He was shouting and bawling at the St Mirren squad because of it, and he probably knew how many passes it was that none of the players had been able to take the ball off him. So, I mean the blind pass with the no look pass with Cantwell, and then Scotty Arfield didn't get through the guy's legs, man. This is why I think Big Scotty, I mean, I would love to see him just stay on for another year, because I don't think the managers had that kind of a wee bit of backfire there, because Scotty Arfield was the one that was coming off the bench scoring those goals recently, and he's went into these other games and he's not really played them, and I think he's kind of missed the boat a wee bit there, because Scotty Arfield gives you what you've seen at the weekend there.
That was a fabulous goal, Billy, wasn't it? 60 passes,
Brilliant. That's. I mean, we scream it for the rooftops on the rooftops on the show when we play football. That's what we could come up with, and that's how I think, as Rangers supporters or fans or whatever you want to call us, that's how we get frustrated, because we know that's what we're capable of. We know we can play that style of football, and when it clicks, it certainly clicks. I mean, I think overall the full game, Ox, it was somewhat. a 90% accurate pass success. That's different class, by the way, and that doesn't matter if it's St Mirren or Barcelona. That's what you call proper football, and it can only be good going forward. But regarding Scotty Arfield, as GB touched on, I would give Scotty an extension as well, and because Scotty Arfield he's a brilliant professional. He knows the club inside out. We know what he brings to the party. He's a brilliant impact player to hear on the bench. He's a brilliant squad player. And even when he does start, one thing you do get for Scotty Arfield, even if he's not having the greatest of games, he never hides Ox. And that's what I like about Scotty Arfield. And for that reason alone, I would certainly give Scotty Arfield an extension of his contract.
I'm in a different camp, and it's nothing against Scotty the personality, Scotty the man, Scotty the player. I just think it's time for new heroes, Bridge. We need to refresh.
Yeah, I think you're right. And there's a lot of Rangers fans feel the same way. But I think a few of them have been thinking the last couple of games with Scotty Arfield come on, he's been involved in the creation of goals and actual scoring the goals. And I think people are maybe taking a wee bit, shall we say, a wee bit second glance at it and saying, do we really want to dump him? He knows all about us. He knows all about the club. He knows all the players that are there. That may be a benefit to him. And if you're going to take a chance if you're thinking of maybe taking a chance with Ryan Kent, you'll get a good chance that you'll get more out of
Scotty Arfield scored 9 goals this season. 9 goals.
Saying that, you'll probably get more out of Scott Arfield than you would out of Ryan Kent. Or even Morelos. Morelos would have been great. Admittedly, he was good the other day. But these are questions that people ask. And true Rangers fans actually ask those questions because they can't manage, their mind can't manage it. What is going on, What is going on with us? Scotty Arfield comes on and he plays quite well. And Ghosty in there scored a beautiful goal. Absolutely stunning goal. To be involved in that amount of passes, great.
Yeah. As much as I like Scotty, it's just my personal opinion, and I have been mine before, Davey. I think 1983. I think that we just need to move on, mate. It's time to shake hands and time for new heroes, mate.
Of course it is. You're talking sense. We cannot stay and go back the way. And if we retain the ones that's been there for that amount of time, coming on for one game, doing this, that doesn't win you a league. And that's the players that we need. We need to revamp that and gain them extra contracts. Well, that's everybody's got an opinion, but I tell you, no for me, boys, no for me.
Yeah. Right, we'll go through yes or no, and if anybody says any more than yes or no, they're getting dropped for the call. Is that fair, GB? It's no difficult, is it?
No, right. I'm ready, mate. I'm ready with my yes or no.
Right, yes or no. Would you keep Scotty Arfield? Billy?
Yes.
Davey?
No.
GB?
Yes.
Bridgeman?
Yes.
It's a no for me.
3-2. Run you.
3-2. Remember, the callers' votes count double.
You're not getting the away goals, mate. You're not getting any away goals.
The callers' votes count double, so that's 3 each, and I've got the casting vote, so we win 4-3, Davey.
Well, as Willie says, everybody's got their own opinion, but you can't go down that road.
And by the way, I've got a lot of time for Scott Arfield,
Of course.
Talking about the guy, the person, what he means to our club. I just think it's time to take on and move on. What's your rationale, GB?
I think it's just the contribution, Ox. I think every time he comes on, and by the way, for the wages that we'd probably offering Scott Arfield to stay for another year, there would be in the low end, Ox. And I just think there's other players that can go out the door first before Scotty Arfield. In my eyes, I get that we need to freshen it up and stuff like that, but I think we will. I think, like say, if Kent and all that go, and Jack goes, and a couple of other ones, hopefully, that are on contracts that feel that they need to move on to get game time and stuff like that. I think Arfield's one of the ones that I think you just seen a sticky game. See one of these games where you're away behind and it's stick or twist time, and you put Scotty Arfield on. He might just get you that win that gets you over the line.
So you want to give somebody a new contract, right? Doing 22 games under Michael Beale, who started 2.
Yeah. Correct.
No, but I don't think he's got to start, Ox. I think he'll be a guy that'll be off the bench.
Right. So he's actually come on for Michael Beale. Let me just see how many games he's been involved with. He's come on another 11 times. So he's been involved in 13 games out of 22. So we want to give him another contract, high up wages. Billy, what's your rationale?
I just like what I just like what Scotty Arfield brings to the party. He's an impact player, and we need to give ourselves options, Ox. That's what I'm trying to explain. Right? We know Scotty will know himself. He's not going to start every game, but when he does come on, he's the kind of player that can do things for us. I'll ask all you guys this one: what other player at Rangers, right now, makes say late runs into the box?
Yeah, well, I think that's an easy question, that. He scored the first goal at the weekend. Todd Cantwell. Next question.
He made the run. I'm talking about running beyond the striker, Ox.
Well, where was Todd Cantwell when they put the ball in the net and the first goal on Saturday?
He made a run across the striker.
He was right on top of the goalkeeper. He was the first player forward when they put the ball in the net.
Listen, I just watched the game back on YouTube, mucker.
I watched it live.
He makes a run across the keeper, a near post run. Scotty Arfield's run was in behind the centre half. That's the kind of run I'm talking about. There's no other player at Rangers makes that run.
Well, have we not got a new hero?
Listen, it's all about new heroes. I get all that. But what I'm trying to say is you need to have a squad. It's not just about 11 players in the game anymore.
That's exactly it. You need new people. We need to refresh. In my opinion, Davey, you know I'm right there, Ryan, don't you, Davey?
100%. And I'm not biased. You've got to move on, guys. I know where you're all coming from. Totally know where you're coming from. You can't live in the past. A squad player. You've got a lot of young boys there. What are they thinking? What are they saying? How long's that guy been there? Many games has he got? Where am I getting again?
Well, obviously they're not good enough. Sorry, David. Obviously they're not good enough to get a game then, aren't they? No.
Well, they shouldn't be on the bench then, or they shouldn't be in the squad. They'll not get a game if we keep playing Arfields and all the rest of them.
I assume David, you don't want Arfield there. I'm assuming that the big style.
I would have. When he first came.
No, I'm saying right now, you would rather do without him.
At the moment, we can't do without him.
I think that's what some of the boys are saying tonight.
Are you basing your decision? I don't know how to go to Scotty Arfield, but that was your fault, David, with that coming on with that fifth goal, right? Are you basing your decision on a guy that comes on and scores a goal, the fifth in a 5-2 victory? Would you give him a new contract if he didn't come on Saturday?
I would have still, Ox, because I know he's got to be low wages, and we've got a 5 subs bench. I don't think we can go into the market as it stands now and replace a guy like Scotty Arfield who's got to give
He's
goals.
no legs, GB. His legs are
we only need them, Ox. The way it's been going, we only need guys for 15 minutes to win a game. I mean, we can have all the pace and power for all the minutes, but see if we go like we had before in 55, we flung on Jermaine Defoe to tidy up the game. I would much rather that than go and get a lone player who's a total novice to the league who fills the bench, and he's got talent, but does nothing. It does a Ryan Kent, comes off the bench and runs about like crazy and doesn't put any input into the game. I would rather go, especially how important this next season's got to be, I would rather go with somebody that's tried and tested for $8,000 a week, say, and rather than give him $29,000 a week to look good in a jersey. I think that says you've got to. It's horses for courses, I think, and a guy like Scott Arfield might be in the background, might get a shot on the bench every now and then, but he's not going to eat into your budget big time. I think you're as well as keeping a guy like that running about the squad. And like I say, I know he's aging out and stuff like that, but I just think for passion, power, and all the rest of it, if you get rid of them all, then you'll have nobody there. You'll have all these young boys there, no knowing how to deal with big games.
Right. You're no spin me at all, mate. You're no spin me at all.
I try my best. I tried every point under the sun there.
It was a good effort.
Sorry, mate.
No. All right. Oh, it's all about opinions, isn't it? Just a pity they're wrong, Davey, isn't it?
That's what's great about this show, that you can do that.
By the way, I can't believe you three, you've got me agreeing with Davey. That's the first time that's ever happened.
You'll be eating Maltesers next.
No, I've got heartburn tonight.
Oh, no.
No, Ox will be.
No, the point I was just saying, guys, is that the way things have been panning out lately, we can't, you've got to look how long Arfield's been there, right? That tells you everything. And if we want to change things and go ahead of that monkey mob, that's the things we've got to sort out. Whether we all love people as Rangers guys to the core, but it's a time when you've got to move on.
Aye.
What age is Arfield, David? What age
is exactly when I'll even tell you his birthday just because it's Shoebridge.
Wow.
He's going to be 35 in November.
That's not bad, actually, is it? Consider what you're expecting from him.
35. And he's only, in 5 seasons with the club, he's only started 86 league games.
Yeah.
He's only started
Shows you the
7
value of the guy as a sort of an impact player. And my goodness, he is an impact player as well.
43
I don't want to take too much away from the rest of the squad. If Arfield hasn't got it, he's not got it. And there will be a lot of fans will think the same thing. They will. I would be, in all honesty, I think I'd be more worried about what's happened to our club, what's happened to the club that had, shall we say, a fantastic player out in the left there, Ryan Kent. He took on the whole of Europe and did fabulous stuff in the whole of Europe. And now, in about 2.5 seasons, or a season and a half rather, he's gone dead. Just out of the game completely. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Just still. Listen, here's a stat for you. I read this actually myself for the weekend. And I know you can make stats mean anything. You've also got to remember where the guys played for some of the time in the last year and a bit. John Lundstrom, how many assists he had since he joined us? Did you read this one, Billy?
No, I didn't, mate. On you go, buddy. Fire it out.
One.
What? 1 assist?
Yep.
And we're whining about a guy that scored 43 goals or something like that.
I never said how many goals he scored, John Lundstrom, but 1 assist as a midfield player. 1 assist.
That's a terrible start, that one. Terrible. You would think for a midfield player being playing in the middle of the park, where you've got to create things and make things happen, but that's gobsmacked at that one, Ox.
Aye, but I know you can make stats mean anything, you know what I mean? But I find that quite interesting. I'd be interested to see what happens at Scotty Arfield. I do recognise that we need Scottish players there, but I just think it's time. We need to free up, we need to move on. We tried last year to give Stephen Davis, Scotty Arfield, Alan McGregor. We said, right, okay, let's go for another year with him. And ultimately, it's no work for us. Scotty's no let us down when he's appeared, but he's not fit enough. And you can't influence the game if you're not fit enough. The legs have gone. Everybody sees it different.
Can I ask the bridge man something, Knox?
Who?
The bridge,
he's
can I
not.
speak to the bridge?
Yeah, he's actually
I'm here,
born.
I'm here.
You know how fine well when he was born, Billy. Scotty.
Aye. I'm just at the wind up, brother. Just at the wind up.
You know fine well.
Bridge
I
man
don't know
to
if he does
Bridgeton.
come under. Funny enough, that's a good
Can
point
I
you make.
bridge something?
I don't know. That's a good point you make, Billy. I don't know if he does fall under the Scottish head count because he's got an international cap somewhere else, no?
Possibly, buddy. Possibly.
You know. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting time as things develop. Davey, Alfredo Morelos, 2 decent finishes at the weekend, but I'm in the same boat. You know, I think it's time to shake hands. Nobody said he's leaving, but
Aye, he's got to go. He's got to go. Can I just ask when Bridge was talking, he made a great point there about Kent, a very, very good point about what he's done over the last couple of seasons. Now, here's one for you then. Why is he been getting played all the time then? That I don't get at all.
Hope.
For 2 seasons.
let's be honest, when around about the January period, people had Kent, he was playing reasonably well. He got a new lease of life under Michael Beale, GB, but I think things went downhill, particularly for last week's performance, yeah.
Ox, I mean, I remember that January time, I was one of the ones saying that I would offer Ryan Kent a contract, and it just shows you how fickle I am now that I'm saying he should be shown the door. But as the weeks and months have went on, he's fell back into that slump again. And I just think that just tells me, Ox, that he's probably had the bounce of a friend's back in the door and got to try hard for you and that. But realisation probably kicks in for him, and like I says, the heart's probably wanting it, but the head's saying, "Nah, I'm finished," kind of thing. And I think between the 2 wages, Ox, we're touching on Morelos as well. 2 wages, I think, just could give us so much energy back into the team if we can reinvest that properly. And that's the only reason that, like I says, I'm saying about Scotty. It's just I think that if the money's got to get spent wisely, then they all need to go. All the ones out the contract need to go. But if we spend it and then we're getting guys like Ravi Matondo just sitting in the background doing nothing, then it's going to be a hard summer, Ox.
Well, that's the thing. It's always difficult. Anyway, we'll be joined by Bob J. Evening, Bob J.
Hi, how we doing, everybody?
All right,
Hey,
mate. What's on your
Bob,
mind,
yeah.
mate?
Okay. Just a wee reflection on Saturday. The defending left a lot to be desired. But to be absolutely fair, with 2 good strikes with the boy.
Decent goals.
Did any of you notice just before the second goal, the space to get the boy go on the left? It was like Rangers seemed to, I don't know, they seemed to stop. But did any of you not notice that, no?
We talked about it before. We talked about it before you came on when Ben Davis went across and he should have cleared the ball and he was too casual, mate.
Mm-hmm. No, he's another nightmare, by the way, didn't he? But hey ho, we're a hard watch. We scored 5 goals at him, and then we got the one. But the dead rubber game, a few dead rubber games to come. Jenny's feel the club needs a complete overhaul.
No, some of the people on the show tonight want to keep everybody. That right, Davey?
I'll pass on that one. I'll pass.
Billy?
Listen, we know. I'm just trying to look at it from a different angle. I know for a fact that I agree with everybody and their points regarding we need freshness and it's time for new heroes. Of course it is. But we've got to be clever, in my opinion, Ox. And we've got to just watch what we're doing regarding letting players go and bringing other players in, because we're, as Bob just said, we're a hard bunch to please. So that's just, we've got to be careful here what we're doing. And listen, if Morelos and Kent and Scotty Arfield and Ryan Jack and McGregor and anybody else that's out of contract, if they all go in the summertime, then fair dues, they go in the summertime. But we've got to make sure that we bring players in of that calibre or better, or it's not going to work. And we've got to be back to square one again.
I don't care about the calibre of the players are individually. It's how you end up with a team, mate. It's getting on the parts of your team button. You know, your best players don't always make your best team, if that makes sense, Billy, yeah?
Aye, I get that as well, Ox. I get that. I know you've got to have a right blend and in different positions, and you know what I mean, players to suit one another, and they get to know different opponents for talking's sake. They know how different opponents play and what. No, I get all that, Ox, but I just think, mate, we've got to be clever. I think the time that we should have done this was a couple of seasons ago, and now it could maybe come back to haunt us. And that's what I'm just concerned about. Sorry?
We couldn't spend any money a couple of seasons ago, mate, because we didn't have the turnover. We were just coming out of COVID.
Aye, that's true.
Look at the accounts, mate. We've had this argument a million times on here, yeah?
Aye,
we'd like to reinvest in. If we'd have qualified, beat Malmo and qualified for the Champions League, obviously we would have a lot more guaranteed revenue coming in. But we might know the turnover might still not reach, but it did reach the final of the Europa League. So it's touch and go. So we took the revenue streams right up. We couldn't go and spend money because of FFP. But it's going to be an interesting summer, Bob Jenner.
It's maybe going to be the most important summer in Rangers' history. I mean, again, I keep saying each time I come on the show, I'm no one for finance. I'd rather just see them put the ball in the back of the net. But I'm aware of the situation, and it's going to be a very interesting summer for us all. And a lot of people, there will be a few people going out. We must get it right. Ross Wilson, as we discussed last week, got so many things wrong, but people must get this right for the amount of challenge next year. We can't be a rake of points behind them at this stage of the season next year again. We've got to get this right and mount a challenge. We're Rangers and we demand a challenge. So whoever comes in has got to be right. For the sake of the finances, for the sake of the club.
Right, here. GB.
Well said, Bob Ger. I'm excited for the summer, Bob Ger. I think it's going to be good that the manager gets a chance now to go and strengthen in the areas that he really wants. You mean? So I think we're in good hands. I think it just, like I says, we're touching on players that are going out the door, and I think what we're all meaning, I think between me, Bridge and Billy, I think what we're kind of meaning with the players going out the door is we don't want a team full of people that don't understand the league, they don't understand the challenge of playing against Celtic, stuff like that. Because if you take all the guys away that's got the fire and passion, then and you're left with young boys, then it will take seasons for them to build that up. And I think, like I says, maybe keeping one out of all the ones that are leaving out of contract, then I don't think it would be a bad thing, considering, like I says, the amount of wages that would be taken off us each week would be really, really low. And I think there's nobody challenging for their positions. That's what I'm meaning. There's nobody there yet that's want to take the shirt off them. So why not keep a guy like Scotty Arfield who could maybe get you out a whole one game?
You've still not convinced. You've not convinced me, GB. You've tried very hard, mate. Yeah.
But I've got to see between now and the end of this season. I keep persevering. I'm going to change their mind.
I think it's going to take a couple of transfer windows to get this. I mean, that, as Bob Ger said, you're bang on. This is a big one in the summer. But for talking's sake, if we get rid of maybe for talking sake, just off the top of my head, 10 players, right? Are we going to bring 10 players in the summer? That's, in reality, I don't think that's going to happen. So, for talking sake, I'll be looking for 5 signings in the summer, and if we get 5 signings in the summer, I'd be happy, because I don't think we're going to get any more than that. But there's a possibility the deals are already done, as Michael Beale's already touched on, and I'm sure that they'll be looking ahead to for different players in different positions and whatnot. But if we get 5 transfers in the summer, I'll be happy at that.
Yeah, me or not.
If 10 go and 5 come in, with injuries we've got, we'll be playing 5-a-sides next year, Bridgeman.
I was just going to ask you a question on that. When do we let them go? Surely we're going to have to wait till we bring players in.
No, the ones that's up, the ones that contract, I mean, you've got, let's look at it. I know we've not got a lot of time. Morelos, Kent, Jack, Arfield, Davis, McGregor. There's 6.
Are you just mulling? Are you going to, without going and getting somebody in, you're just going to get rid of all the players?
Their contracts are up, Bridge.
Yeah, I know, but you're just going to let them go.
Well, I like to think that it's a debate for another show, but you'd like to think that the planning's already done. If the planning's already done, we have got serious problems. Bob,
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's been well documented how much money we've shelled out on injured players this year, and we cannot let the injuries get back to this level again. And you have got a lot of players with your contract, and a lot of big decisions for the reserves. You can't put everybody out the door, but there will be quite a fraction of them going out. Aye. And I think you've mentioned 2 or 3 of them there 2 or 3 minutes ago. So, a big transformation for the Rangers coming. But as I say, it must be done right. We've got to mount a challenge. And, it's been so frustrating this year. The injuries have killed us this year. And but this is only one season. I'm not saying the outlook for the club is bad. I think the outlook for the club is good, considering, as you said, when we came out of COVID, we hadn't any money for to build a squad. But I didn't come with the finances are now. Maybe they have got a bit of money put by. You said to me a couple of weeks ago, Ox, there is money there for a squad. So hopefully it's spent wisely in the summertime for the amount of challenge.
Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Gentlemen are all Davy.
Oh, no.
Aye, Bob, Jerry, if you want to get involved, we start at 8 o'clock, mate. We can't hang about.
I know, mate. I know, pal. I know.
Listen, it's no us, it's Fox. They're no years overtime, that right, Billy?
I know, it's not that. I'm sick of it.
Poor Foxy.
Last word for your good self, Davy.
Great show, guys. Thanks for letting us on. And Arfield's going to go, boys.
Right, Davy, just you remember, you have a nice birthday. We'll speak to you after it, all right?
Right, guys. Good night.
Cheers.
Good night, mate.
Bob, J.
Thanks for having me on once again. And I promise I'll come on earlier next time. Much to a few people.
Cheers, Bob, J.
Cheers.
Billy.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the show as normal, buddy. Great debates about the Rangers, great points, great opinions. That's what we're all about. We just love our team with our hearts, and onwards and upwards to the Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah. GB.
Yeah, Ox, great show, mate. Great debate. I enjoyed that wee last half hour trying to convince you about Scotty Arfield.
10 out of 10 for trying, mate.
Must try harder, as they say.
Bridgeman. Well, all right. Well, can I thank you all? Can I thank old Davy and Bob J for joining us? Billy and GB and Bridge for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. You back with us, Bridge?
Yes, I am, pal. Sorry about that.
Right, on you go. Hurry up.
Yeah, I can a big thanks to yourself and the techie team in the background. And I think JB is right about Scott Arfield. I think you're wrong. However, that's another show. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, the next game this weekend, Aberdeen, we need to win that game. Keep it going for the Rangers because the Rangers really need us. Keep it going.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. We'll get in contact. We'll be tracked down Willie H. We think we've got a lead. We'll let everybody know tomorrow night. Thanks for listening. Take it away. Old School Blue.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way, as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'll be Rangers for life. From that day I'll be Rangers for life.